Hey, welcome back to your Precision Data Analytics channel today. We're taking a look at Quadratic AI channel. We're using it to analyze our stock data for our stock data. Use it to analyze our forecast data for the LifeStrategy Growth Fund from Vanguard. So let's just start up at the top here, shall we? All right. What's interesting is between January 2023 and about January 20, there was this big gap between the closing price and the adjusted closing price. And supposedly this can include things like stock splits or dividend payments or capital gains to make up. But then in January it settled back down, and there's basically no difference. Then I asked it to create three plots: a naive plot, a ETS plot, and a ARIMA plot. And this is what I want you to notice. These are predictive intervals. That means there's a 95% chance that the actual closing price will fall between the lightly shaded area, and a 75% chance it'll fall between the darker shaded area. And you can see in a naive model, it's kind of straddling the line between the two. All right. Let me come down here, and as you'll see in a moment, it's actually saying that this is the most accurate forecast, even though the actual prices are outside of the predicted values, which is kind of curious. Okay, but I guess it's still the difference between the predicted and the actual is still pretty narrow, I guess. What about now ARIMA again looks more like the naive, okay, but again, a lot of it's right on the borderline between that 75 and 95% predictive interval. Again, predictive interval simply means that there's an X% chance that the closing price will fall within one of the shaded areas, okay? So again, this is kind of curious, all right? So then I said, which model is the most accurate? Well, it says ETS is because it got points because all three numbers are lower than the other two models. Although naive is number two. Now, what you always hear about the naive is that if your more advanced models are not more accurate than your than the naive model, and you're probably using the wrong model. Okay. Now, daily returns is interesting. Okay, so let's take a look what it says over here. Two lines. We can pretty much ignore April because that was an anomaly, right? But look how the earnings just went crazy. It went from +6 to -4. Okay. So what does it say here? The close. Why two lines? The close return is based on the raw closing price. How to interpret it? Okay. Spikes up or down reflect higher volatility days. Okay. Crazy volatility back here in April, right? When both series move together, pricing changes are the main driver. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so because we look here, you don't see. This is the only place when you see a difference between the adjusted and the closing return. What's it say again? When both series are moving together, pricing changes are the main driver. Any divergent points to distribution. Hover over any drive, and if you like it, I can. So basically, one thing we're going to notice is the volatility. It's really for the most part between, say between, well, the over under to a certain extent. Let's say for this model, I would say -1 to +1. Because first of all, there's no difference between the close and the adjusted, so that means it's price. But it also means there's no volatility. It means the price is pretty much stable, except for this one blue spot right there. Okay. So anyway, that's your analysis for the seeding for the Quadratic AI channel, Quadratic AI analysis. And again, just to recap, supposedly just to recap what we got up here. Back up here, we saw a big gap between adjusted and closing price, beginning sometime before January 2023, ending almost exactly right around January 2025. And the winner of the Derby for the most accurate forecast, interestingly enough, is is ETS, followed closely by naive, but still ARIMA coming in a close third. Okay.